Here's a preview of what you'll hear on this episode of Beyond the Wheel.
If I wasn't to develop myself, I might run out of answers. And there's a lot of people around here counting on me to have the right answers. So I need to continue to develop myself no matter how much extra time it takes.
Now enjoy the show.
You are listening to Beyond the Wheel, a podcast about the people and ideas that drive the RV community forward.
This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety. So go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.
Whether your adventure is on the road, on the water, or off the grid, Battleborn batteries keep you out there longer.
Hey everyone, and thank you for joining us for this very special 100th episode of Beyond the Wheel podcast. We're joined today by Sean Nichols, who is the COO of Battleborn Batteries and Dragonfly Energy. A little bit more about that name in a few moments. To make this even more special, Sean Chicory and myself have flown here to Reno, Nevada, home of Battleborn Batteries, and we're going to be talking about marketing strategies that made Battleborn Batteries the trusted name that it is today. So let's get this episode started.
All right, Sean, thanks for coming on our 100th episode. When Kenny and I talked about it, we couldn't think of anyone better to have on our episode other than you, because you've supported the podcast since the beginning. I think you were our third guest, and you've been on a couple times since then. So, yeah, we're really excited for this 100th episode, having you on, just because of all that support. But for the people that haven't heard any of the previous episodes, and I think everybody in the industry knows Battleborn Batteries and Dragonfly Energy, but can you just tell us a little bit about you and your role with the company?
Sure. First, congratulations.
Oh,
I
thanks.
remember when you guys started this podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of you for what you've done with it. I think it's amazing. And you guys got a great following. Everybody knows who Beyond the Wheel is. So, kudos to you for making your best effort at making this thing a success. It really
thanks.
Thank you.
And I'm honored that you chose me to be on your 100th episode. Really, I mean, we're all buddies. So,
Yeah.
You're two of the guys I actually talk to, quite frequently. And I think that, it's some of the people that I've met when we started this company has been pretty amazing. You're two of them, so I think very highly of both of you, and I'm really proud of you, and I have the deepest respect for your efforts you put into this.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
And I think I'm Sean Nichols. I'm the co-founder and the chief operating officer of Dragonfly Energy, which is the company, the parent company of the brand Battleborn Batteries. And a little bit about me: I've been living here in Reno for 18 years, and I met my business partner Dennis at graduate school, or business school we called it, at Nevada, here in Reno, the University of Nevada, Reno. And he asked me to join this company. So we started the business, and the Battleborn Batteries name was an idea that I came up with before we did a business pitch competition where we could win $5,000. At the time, the governor of the state was Governor Brian Sandoval. Okay. And he had a Shark Tank style pitch competition where you could win $5,000. So I told Dennis, we're going to launch a line called Battleborn Batteries. We're going to go up there. We're going to win that $5,000. Well, we didn't win the $5,000. We won $2,500. But we grew an incredible company after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little bit about my background. That's how I ended up being in this industry. Before I met Dennis, when I signed up to go to business school, I was running an inverter company, selling inverters and solar charge and solar. So I've been around this industry since 2009.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you had mentioned that for that contest, you were using the you were using the Battleborn name, but recently, especially now with the introduction to Dragonfly being part of Keystone RVs, the consumers are starting to hear the Dragonfly Energy name a little bit more. Can you talk a little bit about the separation or the combination of the two and why that is?
Yeah, early on as a younger company, I knew that we needed to harness all sales channels. So we had an OEM brand, which was quietly operating in the background, evangelizing this technology and educating OEMs on the value of it in many different industries, RVs being one of them. The Battleborn brand was a direct consumer brand. It still is today. Some OEMs do use it too, though, so there's some crossover.
Oh, okay.
But I think that, with a lot of the recent news that we've had, the Dragonfly name is really in the news now. I think I like to say it that, it's in the news now more than Battleborn has been. We just recently announced that we're doing a SPAC transaction also. We're going to go public via SPAC vehicle. And the Dragonfly name has been in the news for that. We also have a new partnership that we did with Keystone earlier this year, Keystone RV. They are a part of the Thor family of products, and we're the exclusive battery supplier for them for lithium. And also, we recently did an acquisition with Dragonfly. We bought Wakespeed Offshore. That's an alternator regulator company. So there has been quite a bit of buzz around the Dragonfly name. We've garnered this strong industry reputation as being a really valuable supplier to the industry and also a fan of the industry. And I think that we support the community as well as the OEM companies also. I think that's been part of our success, and I think that's why you're hearing the Dragonfly name more. Of course, Battleborn was where all of our marketing went into first because it's exciting. It's a great product to market.
Yeah. And so that brings us to our next question. When you guys started, it seemed like Battleborn was the forefront of the company. And did you have a specific marketing plan to bring that brand to consumers right away? Like, I think you guys were one of the few people I heard of back then that was like harnessing the influencers. And so was that all planned from the beginning to kind of go that way?
Well, originally in our original business plan, if you ever got a copy of it and read it, like I'm sure Dennis has it still, but I don't know if it'll ever be published anywhere. But our original business plan was to educate consumers, or what I called early adopters, about the technology and the benefits of it. They would adopt it, then eventually they would start to tell other people about it. They would drive the business back to the dealerships, and then at the same time, I had already had some OEM relationships through Wade and Josh Miller. Mm-hmm. We would educate the OEMs about the benefits of the technology too, and saying, "Look, this is coming. We want you to know. We want you to get eyes on this now. We want you to understand this, and we're going to be here as a resource for you." So I think that one of the things about our marketing play that it's not a trade secret, but we give a lot of free education. I think that a lot of companies miss the boat on that. I think they don't take the time to actually create the content to educate people about the value of the product. I think that's something that we've done differently. I think there's a lot of companies out there that look at our strategy and start to adopt it today, and using influencers is one of those things. It's no secret that we have a lot of brand partners. I think the one thing that we do differently, though, and I think you can agree or disagree with me on this, is that your original brand, Chicory's Travels, mm-hmm. was as important to us as we were to you. Okay. I think there's an authenticity in those partnerships. That's why I like to call them, instead of influencers, I like to call them brand partners. It's a partnership for us.
Okay.
And we care as much about their success as they care about ours. And I think that's something that we do a little differently here, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Definitely agree with that.
Do you feel, though, that the brand partners were big contributors to the what I would consider rapid growth of the company?
Yeah, I mean, there are other companies using brand partners at the same time we were. I think that timing is very important, and I think that at the time when we started this organization, I was acutely aware of the fact there were a lot of mobile power systems that were limited because in my old job, we sold nothing but lead acid batteries, and I knew there was a lot of projects I was turning down. Okay. So I knew that the RV industry in general had a soft spot for it. I also knew that these batteries cost more. So I think that our relationships with brand partners helped tell the story of the benefits of the technology. And I'll be honest with you, but I think we helped a lot of other people sell batteries too. I don't think it was just us. I think that that there's lots of choices out there in the market. Of course, some people like Battleborn because we're designed and assembled here in America. Hopefully, someday soon we'll have a completely vertically integrated U.S. made product. We don't today, so we're designed and assembled. And we employ 160 people here. We're not just importing packs from overseas and putting a sticker on them. We actually do engineer the product, and I think that some people find value in that.
Yeah.
And I also think that people like the story of us kind of starting this company out of our garage and kind of growing from there. And we're not the only ones out there doing it, but we helped create this market. So I think that that's a kind of product that has an opportunity for explosive growth. The brand partner relationships that we garnered along the way were very beneficial to us mutually beneficial to all parties, I believe, but very beneficial to us in getting the message out about the strength of the product and the quality.
Okay.
I think all great companies start in the garage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got that going for you as well. Was there ever a time when you had to change gears or switch things up? Did you feel like, okay, this isn't working, let's introduce a different strategy to marketing?
Well, we have a lot of marketing things that we do that, I probably wouldn't release, on the podcast. But I think, no, you know what? For me, marketing comes very naturally. I think that, people on my team can attest to that. There's a certain way to think about something. And the thing that I always do is like, I try to think like 3 steps ahead. Like, how does this move impact other partners that you have in the industry and that type of stuff? That way you're not just, a lot of companies get really, late tunnel vision focused on certain things and they alienate people in that process. And I think that, for me, marketing's always been a hands-on thing. And I happen to have the opportunity, like we were just together at the Overland Expo, right, a couple weeks ago. And I still like to get out there, and talk to people and see what's going on and see what the market's doing. But I think that, no, my strategy's never changed. It's authentic. Our partnerships, our advertising, our products are authentic. They're real and they're fairly priced with great quality. And I don't think that's ever changed.
Yeah, you know what was great about that show when we were out at Overland is not only did you get a lot of people coming up to you and say, hey, I've heard of Battleborn batteries, I'm interested, but I don't really know a lot about it. You had that group coming up to you, but you also had a lot of people coming up and saying, hey, I have Battleborn batteries, and I just wanted to stop by to this booth and say, hey, man, these things are fantastic. I just want to thank you for putting out such a great product. That's got to make you feel good. Yeah. And I think that speaks volumes for, just how great that trust and that the Battleborn battery brand is.
I think I agree with that. I think that it's the people that use our product though, and the people that make our product and assemble our product and design it, and from the marketing team to the production team, that make our product great, and the people that use it in the field, right? Because they support us. They're these organic conversations that happen at a campfire that or on in a boat harbor, like, that people talk about the products that they're using, and we happen to be very well received in the communities that and I think that's because we participate in those communities. I think that goes a long way. But going out to an Overland Expo, or even the following 2 weekends later, I was at a mountain bike festival. I had the Battleborn van there. I met several people that had Battleborn batteries too, just right here locally. So, there's a lot of people out there with them. It is exciting. But the one thing I want to say is, we wouldn't have this business without them. So I always tell them, thank you for your business.
Yeah. And it happens more at shows. I was telling Sean, I was at a KOA not too long ago. I had a Battleborn battery shirt on, and a guy walked up to me. He's like, hey, I got Battleborn batteries in my RV. We were actually there for like a little breakfast that KOA was putting together. And we were talking, both of us were talking about just how much we love Battleborn batteries. And, I was sure to be very loud about it so that other people at breakfast could just hear how much this guy enjoyed his Battleborn batteries as much as I was enjoying my Battleborn batteries.
Well, I remember when you put your batteries in.
Yeah.
We had a very brief conversation. Look, I don't want to make a lot of changes to my rig. I just want to put these in. I said, good. Put them in, right? And it worked. So I think that, there's battery anxiety, right? There's also like electronics anxiety when you start doing projects on your own. I remember when you put your soft start on your air conditioner.
Yeah.
You did a lot of projects on your old toy hauler, right? There were big projects.
Big projects, yeah.
And there was a little bit of anxiety around those, right? Because you weren't an expert at it.
Yeah.
We've done a really good job of simplifying that and making it possible for other people to really just see that it's not easy to do a lot of times. Sometimes it's a little difficult. It takes time, right, to install something. It's not just like a 5-minute job, but we do a good job of bringing the product to the people with the resources and helping them get it into place if they want to do it on their own, or we make referrals to installers. But, like I said, the fact that people love the product to me, it's a really cool thing, because, we put a lot of work into this place. When you first met me, I had a lot less gray hair in my beard than I have today, right? So, I hope to be able to spend more time out in the field someday, like enjoying our batteries, because gosh, I hear some really exciting stories about them. That's the cool thing about when I get to encounter a customer or a brand partner that's using our product and listen to their story. That's like really powerful. You saw me at the Overland Expo. Yeah. We were connecting. Me and you were connecting with all kinds of people about, products and what they're using and everything like that. We were out there just for hours talking to people.
So you use those rallies and big events, not only RV, but boating as well. to provide education. I know you guys always do presentations at these things, but we often hear a lot of companies say that they also learn a lot from the people at the shows on how they can improve, what the trends are coming up, what people really want. Do you find it's like a mutually beneficial thing that way when you guys are out there?
Absolutely. We go there to meet our customer. We go there to meet future and prospective, and existing customers, right?
Okay.
We go there to listen to the feedback that they have. I mean, traditionally in the RV industry, especially, you guys know what two-step distribution was. I mean, it's still a thing. Like, there are companies out there that sell products that are 3 steps away from their customer. They literally never get feedback from the customer directly. We will always continue to participate in the communities that use our products for that reason and many others.
Okay.
Mostly because we support the mission of what they want to do, right? They want to get out there and stay out there longer. We want to be able to provide that solution. But in general, it's also nice to be out in front of your customer and hear like a conversation about how someone likes the product or something else that you could change about it, Our very first version of the battery was a Group 31. This one here is between the one over there on the table is between a 27 and a 31. One of our original customers had a van. His name's Alan. I just saw him at that mountain bike festival. He was here in Reno. I knew his wife, and he bought a couple batteries for his van, and our original battery was a little taller than that one. And he had to put he built his own like terminal cover out of a gallon milk jug thing. Seriously. Like, put it over. It's like, over the years, you see people doing this, like, okay, well, how can we do that differently? So, we made the battery more compact so it fit in that spot better. And there's just things like that come up. That's just one example. But over the years, of course, I've learned a lot from customers. I've also learned a lot about the ability of the product too. A lot of like things that they've done that I never thought of.
Oh, okay.
I've seen people put like 12 batteries in their RV.
Yeah.
I saw one guy put 10 in, and then another guy found out that guy had 10, so he put 12 in. Then I talked to those people about it. I'm like, well, how did you like it? They're like, well, we have to write it down now when we start our generator.
Oh, really? It's that few of times.
Yeah.
They're probably just doing it just to exercise it.
Yeah, we have to write it down now. It was John and Brenda Najedlo.
Okay.
Right. So from the Geo Astro RV, they're not on the road anymore, but they were great friends of this company. They still are. I love those people. But they had like put a notebook in. Hey, look, it's been 30 days since we started our generator. Let's just run it so the gas doesn't get weird, So those are the kind of things that you start to think about long term, like the power of this battery technology from a storage aspect. Now what's happening is these same people, you included also, are creating this movement of educating people how to live off the grid. So we're learning how to harness the power of sun and wind and thinking about how to apply it on a larger level, which really ties into our future play about our solid state batteries. Our completely non-flammable U.S.-made solid-state battery that we're gonna create here through this transaction, and that's gonna really kind of elevate the movement from what we've been doing now on a smaller scale to a bigger scale. Does that make sense? So not only does the product feedback matter for today, it matters for tomorrow too.
Yeah, like you said, you're thinking 3 steps ahead.
Right.
You're just not in the moment of it.
Right.
So, other marketing ideas. Have you guys ever tried radio or television commercials? And if you did it work? Even like local? Was that ever something that you guys explored?
We've done a lot of traditional marketing strategies. We do that. We do industry publications and niche publications. Like we've done some advertisements in different RV magazines and off-grid living, things like that. I mean, I think those are still valuable vehicles to get your message out to people. We also, work with some of the OEMs, have their own magazine too, like Tiffin has one. We advertise in there. We also participate in their rallies, and that's part of the community aspect of it too. But TV, we do sponsor. We're the exclusive battery sponsor for the RVers, the TV show. Right. We did it for 5 seasons, I think, right now so far, and then there is some TV advertising that goes along with that too. You just never know. Once your brand gets bigger, you have to put it in front of an audience any way you can. I think, but we always focus on like niche advertising tactics, basically if we know that's where our viewers are going to be at.
Makes sense.
Right.
So we know that most of our listeners, of course, are somehow related to RVing, but you guys have branched out into different communities. Did you start with RVing or was that not your first kind of major group that you were targeting?
Well, as a young company, I mean, for me, it was like very obvious, and to Dennis too. I think that, we really knew we needed to have a focus market. But our focus markets have always been RV, marine, and off-grid, small off-grid systems. That's been that way since the very beginning.
Okay.
RV just happened to be the one that we got the most traction in early on.
Okay.
But now we're branching out to some new markets. We're doing stuff like emergency and standby backup power solutions, industrial equipment, work trucks, things like that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Those are all kind of markets that I've always worked in my career.
Yeah.
We just haven't had the time to focus on them here, but I think that we've always done piecemeal, projects in those markets. But it's not a secret. It's all those are all markets that are dominated by lead acid batteries. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not shy about that, right? Lead is dead.
Yep.
Definitely. So the product really does speak for itself, and I think that definitely helps when you're selling something that it almost sells itself. But there's still people that are maybe hesitant of maybe buying a Battleborn battery, Dragonfly Energy battery. What do you say to people that are hesitant, or do you let them just wait it out, give them some time to think about it, and let them see it for themselves? Or what do you say to them at a show when somebody comes up to you and says, you know what, this lithium's great, but I'm sticking with my lead acid?
Well, the first thing I never do is bash a competitor.
Okay.
I will bash a battery chemistry, like lead acid batteries. I never bash a competitor. I've never been. I feel like that's just not classy.
Mm-hmm.
I never do that. I think the one thing that I do is just let people know they have a lot of options, and that if they look around and see our product comes with the customer experience above and beyond what you get with other companies. Of course, you can go buy different levels of batteries out there, and you don't know I don't know what the quality of those batteries are. I'm not, but there's a lot of choices, including lead acid. I think that when you come to Battleborn, you get that customer experience, you get the customer service, and you get that guarantee to back the product to make sure that it works properly for you over a certain amount of time. Is the one thing that I tell people, and then it's up to them to make that decision. But I do believe that there's, in a short window of time, there won't be an RV out there that doesn't have lithium on board, unless it's just an RV that doesn't get used a lot. And that's another thing that I'll do is, like, over the years, we've done a really good job of not overselling a customer. Mm-hmm. Like, when they call up, we'll walk through their whole system, just like you, right? I'm like, you don't need to change the converter. You can just drop these in, right? Like, we're offering an extreme level of customer service. That's why we call it the customer experience. But we want to help you maximize the usage of your vehicle, but you don't need to overbuild it, right? So if someone wants to put in 10 batteries, we'll help them design that whole system too. We're complete system integrators on lots of levels. We have all access to all kind of parts and expertise. But in general, I think that there are some customers that will probably continue to use lead acid batteries in their RV. It's a price point thing. I get that. I understand that. I just want them to be able to go out and enjoy that experience as much as they can. I think there's other factors today that weigh in on, like, you're going to run your generator for an extra 8 hours. You might as well get the better batteries, because gas is not cheap, right?
Yeah.
So there's, all along, there's always market factors that change this opinion. Like, I used to always say, oh, your batteries are expensive. I'm like, yeah, but we're all walking around with a $1,200 cell phone, right? We're thinking about buying one for our 9-year-old.
Yeah.
But this doesn't take you to a beautiful lakeside to go relax, right? Yeah. And then listen to your generator the whole time. So, I think that the value that our batteries bring to the table speaks for itself. As far as when customers want me to compare to another product, I just let them know that of course, I'm biased. I believe we have the best product in the market, and I think that we've got the reputation, and also we've got the customer service to back it.
The thing you've mentioned a couple times now is the customer experience, mm-hmm. and I think one thing that really drew me to Battleborn Batteries, Dragonfly Energy, is that the same people you see at the shows or at the rallies are the same people that are talking to you when you call for help.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge to me, that I can, I might have a relationship with that person from talking to them at a show. And then when I call, it's the same person on the phone. I'm not talking to somebody in some phone call distro center or something like that.
Our inside sales team actually works right outside my office. So we don't use a call center.
Yeah.
The team is the team.
Yeah.
It's growing. We're always growing the team. We're growing it at different levels now. But you're right. You see some of our sales pros at shows, at rallies, at events, because I want them I mean, honestly, like, that was one of the most beneficial parts about working at this company. It gave me so much passion and energy, was going out to meet the customers. Like, I want them to feel that too. I can't keep, hoarding that all for myself, right? So like they need to have that experience also and get out there in front of their customers and build those relationships just like I did. It's a wonderful thing to have in your career. It's a great opportunity to understand how far service goes. But our customer experience, the way you get treated as a customer here at Battleborn, in my opinion, is that it's like an old-fashioned company. It's an old-fashioned business. Like, we do business, like, our relationship with you is paramount to the success of our business. You're not just another invoice, right? So I think that it's important that in my opinion, every single customer that comes through here, I want them to feel that. Like, if they buy on the website, they might not, but they would still get a phone call from someone here saying, hey, look, you ordered this stuff. We want to make sure we got everything shipped out right. I mean, most people will get a personal contact from us. And I think that it's a lost way to do business today. Everything's digital, but, we still try to do things as much in person as we can. And I think that getting out to those rallies, I mean, I don't know, I read an article. Wade, my buddy Wade, our director of business development and outside sales, Wade Seaberg, sent me this article from a blog. It was called "Leave It All on the Field," and it was like this guy was talking about how his career grew, and he like 1 to 10 employees, like everyone's a player, and then 10 to 100, then you're like a coach, and 100 to 1,000, you're like a general manager. And at the end of the article, it was talking about how the guy was kind of he liked the 1 to 10. It's a lot more fun then.
Yeah.
And his boss told him, yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad you had fun doing that. Now create that opportunity for other people.
Okay.
So they can have fun doing it, right? They can harness that experience and work to their full potential, and you focus on something different now. You keep the other stuff off their plate so they can continue to grow themselves, and that will grow the business.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I like sending our people out to the events, because, me, I like to be in front of people, man. I'd like to go to every event if I could. I'd go to every event. I'd spend an extra 2 hours at every dinner. Like, I'd talk to everyone all the time, right? You know what I mean? But like, I want other people to feel that, because the people that they get to meet. I mean, honestly, like, I think our company has a different feel, and our product, our customers do different stuff. So when you meet these people, you really start to understand that we're helping them live their best life, just like they're helping us.
Yeah, and I think also what's important there that you didn't mention is, even if they're not a customer, you're still going to take time to talk to them and educate them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We try to answer all questions that come our way.
Yeah.
They get that customer support before they're even a customer. They can give you guys a call, tell you, this is what I'm thinking about doing. Even if it's not even all battery related, I think inverters and all that, the setup itself. Like, before you even make a purchase, you guys are willing to take the time.
Well, we want them to feel comfortable. It's not, we don't take it for granted. The systems that we sell, especially if it's a larger system, is quite a, it's not $100, right? So it's not a $24.99 Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah.
It's actually a design system, and it's fully integrated. So we like to take the time to earn their trust in doing that. And sometimes they go buy from someone else. That's okay. Like, no skin off our back. I mean, what we're doing is we're just getting more looks at the problem, right? So we're getting more opportunities to engage a customer, and then my team gets smarter by doing that too. And that's why I told them early on, you take every opportunity you can to educate a customer, because you master the material much more yourself that way.
Yeah.
So you answer any questions. Even at the Overland Expo, there were people just asking me questions about battery isolators and just different stuff, even lead acid batteries. Like, I still try to answer every question someone asks me.
Yeah, I always feel like I learn the most when I'm trying to teach somebody something.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
But some people don't want to take the time to do that. And it takes time. Our salespeople work hard. Our sales, tech support, our marketing staff, they work hard. They work 7 days a week. They're always on the social media. They're on the email. They're looking out for stuff all the time. They're not on there over the weekend all the time, but like, they're still on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's surprised you, like, when you pitched that business plan and got that $2,500 from the governor, what has surprised you since then, or has everything gone to that plan?
Well, I'll tell you what, the thing for me is that really is surprising to me is that the opportunities for growth always, and I'm just talking about my own personal development here, right? Like, let's take the team out of this one for now. The business challenges me in ways that I never thought I'd be challenged in. So I have to really apply myself and grow myself as an executive, right? So originally you're the COO, right? This title, there's like 4 people working at the company. So like, you're like, okay, well, like, yeah, I'm going to still go out in the field right now and play the game.
Yeah.
But as we grow the company, the meetings change, the engagement change, everything changes. So, I'm continually over the years just worked really hard at developing myself. And what surprised me about it is, I actually like the opportunity to think about different strategies in business more than I thought I would. Early on, it was like drinking from a hydrant. This company really took off, and I was just barely holding on, and I was still able to find time to strategize, right, to move forward. And I think that I really expanded my own potential. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's what surprised me is that, and I think it surprises a lot of other people in my life too, right? That I grew up with and like my family and things like that. But also what's surprising to me, like I said, is the people that I've met. It's like other people don't really get this as much. Maybe they do, I don't know. But like for me, it was like a completely unexpected benefit that I would become friends with some of our customers, right? Or brand partners. Like there's some people that I've met that are some of the best people I've met in my whole life through this organization. Like I know I'll be friends with you forever. Like we're real friends.
Yeah.
Right. So like we have real conversations about real life stuff. It's not just about batteries. Like we share life with each other. Right. So like that is a real benefit to me. It gives me like an extra reason to want to come to work and be passionate about what I do, And I think that's a real surprise too, because it's easy to, I don't know, like I've had other jobs where you just go to work, you punch a clock, you make your quota, and you go home. And you hope a customer doesn't call you.
Yeah.
So
you mentioned something that's
you know what I mean? Like this job's not that way.
You mentioned something that's kind of important to me, and that is you said you've taken time to kind of grow and learn, and not just let the title push you up, but you've had to go out on your own and learn some stuff. Do you find yourself taking a lot of courses or reading a lot of books to keep up with your responsibilities?
I do. I think the main thing is that if I wasn't to develop myself, I might run out of answers. And there's a lot of people around here counting on me to have the right answers. So I need to continue to develop myself no matter how much extra time it takes. I have an executive coach. He's a gentleman named LB Day. We read several books together. We've read several books together. I also read other books on my own. I take classes. I'm currently taking some classes at Wharton right now and some executive development courses, because I want to be the best leader I can be. Like just taking what I've got is not good enough for me. And I don't want to be that example for anyone else. I want them to know they're going to have to continue to push themselves too.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
Right. So I want them to understand that it's okay if they don't want it. That's great.
Yeah.
But when we created this organization, what I wanted, and I know Dennis wanted this too, was an environment where people could come and work and really feel like they were able to spread their wings and work to their full potential, whatever department they chose to work in. Work their way where they really feel like they're making an impact. And so I think that it's important for me to continue to grow myself so I can create those opportunities for them. Because the team grows and changes and the company changes. And, if I just stuck with the skills I had in 2014, when I got out of business school and, quit my job in 16, like the skills that I had then are not the skills that I use today.
Yeah.
A lot of them are, but not all of them.
Yeah. I think that's important for a lot of entrepreneurs, especially. Business school gets you started. I went to business school too. So I kind of can relate to this. It gives you a starting point. Yeah. It doesn't make you a CEO that's ready to lead an organization.
Of course you went to business school.
Yeah.
How many degrees do you have?
Just a few.
Just a few. You got like 3 PhDs?
No.
3 master's degrees? You have 3 master's degrees,
two
Two,
masters,
yeah, and a PhD?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You're a smart guy, man. Yeah.
But my point is that, you're not, that doesn't give you the leadership that you need. It gives you a baseline. And if you want to keep up and grow your business, you have to grow yourself.
Absolutely. And I think that's important. It's really about trying to broaden my own mind about what, about how the company fits into the business environment is really important. And, I take feedback from people too.
Yeah.
I do 360 feedback. I take feedback and I continue to develop myself.
Yeah.
Because it's important. And also it's important because I always want to like be learning myself too. You know what I mean? So like right now, I'm doing a bunch of projects here, none of which I can talk about on this podcast. But let me tell you what, like I'm involved in helping our R&D team procure some pretty extensive and install some pretty extensive equipment, stuff that I know nothing about, right? So, but I show up, I try to do my best to learn about it, just enough to know to help them get it done, because there's another aspect that's brought to the table, right? So you just never know what kind of challenge is going to present itself. I mean, early on, I remember I was on the road one time, and Dennis called. We had a problem at the office. There were like ticks or something like that came on one of our shipments. So we had to like figure that out. That's not something that they teach you like in business school. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect.
So like, you just never know what it's going to be. Like, is it going to be a pandemic?
Yeah.
Right? Or is it going to be tariffs? There's a lot of things that have come across our plate over the years, and I think that we've done a really good job of keeping this train running while still developing ourselves, so we can become the next generation and continue to be the next generation leaders of this organization, because they need us. They count on us for answers. Yeah. Literally, like if your people come to you with a question and you don't have an answer for them, that's a bad situation. They might not always have a solution. Like if they have a problem, a lot of people lead with that, oh, don't bring me a problem without a solution. Well, then you can't do that, because they won't tell you about the problems they have, because they don't always know of a solution. They need you to teach them, right? Because they don't have the experience of it. That's all.
Yeah.
So it's important that we keep ourselves, and also like there's a little bit of like a peace of mind that comes along with learning, right? When you're challenging yourself to learn something new.
Yeah.
It's like therapeutic for entrepreneurs. So it keeps your mind fresh, and it keeps you, it feels like you're adding more stress to your plate by trying to learn something new, but it's like a healthy distraction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
And then speaking of growth, I think we can talk about this. If not, then you can tell me no. But
no, I'm just kidding.
I didn't even start. With you guys acquiring Wakespeed, when you take a company like that, are you going to handle their marketing, or do they handle their own marketing, or will you guide them at all? Will you say, hey, this worked for us, let's try this with you guys as well?
We acquired the team and the products from Wakespeed Offshore. The people who are the founders of Wakespeed, Al and Rick, are on our team. Okay. You know, Al lives on our engineering team, and Rick is on our outside sales team, so they're with us still. I think you can expect to see some exciting stuff coming out with Wakespeed, as far as like visually and product-wise.
Okay. And then a follow-up to that is, does Wakespeed keep their name, or do they fall under the Battleborn name?
We don't have any intention of changing the Wakespeed name. Okay. We're going to keep that the way it is. We think it's a great product that kind of lives outside of the products that we sell. So and there's actually other battery companies that use Wakespeed, and we want them to understand that they can continue to have that supply chain.
Oh, nice.
We might work on developing and integrating it into our product. We will, for sure. Yeah. Traditionally, they've been in the same boat that we've been in, right? Which is like they're just trying to grow the business and hold on as fast as they could go. Right. So when we acquired them, now they have a whole team of people. So I imagine like for them, it's a sense of relief, but it's also causes a little bit of anxiety. It's a lot of change, right? So we've been working slowly through that, just kind of bringing them into the culture of the company and working through some of those things. But we have no intention of changing the footprint of the product group for Wakespeed, the customer base, or the actual title or what the mission of the company is.
And we'll learn a little bit more about Wakespeed. We're going to have Wakespeed on the show later on, so we'll dive into that a little bit more too.
But it's an amazing technology. Al and Rick did a great job building that thing up. And we're blessed to have them on our team, and we're happy that they chose to come with us too, because they could have who knows who else they could have been talking to, but they want to be part of our Dragonfly family. So here we are, and I think that we'll help make that company and that brand and those product lines more successful than they've ever been.
Cool.
So that you want to talk about Wakespeed, Dennis really led that acquisition, and I think that he's here. Why don't we have him come on the podcast right now and jump in here and show some of this 100th episode love for you guys.
Yeah.
Dennis, come on down. All right, so now we're back, and we're joined with Dennis, and Dennis is the CEO of Battleborn Batteries / Dragonfly Energy, and we've been talking with Sean about marketing strategies. How much of a hand did you play in that, or was that all on Sean's shoulders?
Marketing strategies?
Marketing strategies.
I don't play a big hand in marketing strategies. That's not my strength. If you're talking specifically about the Wake Speed project, I played a big hand in making that acquisition happen and in vetting some of that technology and intellectual property. And we knew generally what we wanted to do in terms of how to assimilate the product into the Dragonfly line. But in terms of how to implement that marketing wise, I'll leave that to the experts.
Okay. So let's go, now that we have you here, let's go back a little bit and kind of the same kind of thing that we asked Sean was, you came from a very different background than business. I mean, you were in academia, tenured professor maybe?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, at a prestigious university, and decided to go to business school and get an MBA so you could start this company. And has it worked out kind of the way you expected it to work
Way
out?
better. Way better. Yeah, God, I didn't know that I had that in my future, But what I wanted to do was commercialize technology that I thought the world needed, that I thought was important. And I actually tried as a professor. I had a couple companies on the side, and I realized, number one, I couldn't be a professor and run a company at the same time. And number two, I didn't know how to run a company. I actually left tenure and went to business school to learn how to do it right. And, developing technology is a very, very small part of having a successful company. It's an important part, but there's a lot that goes to making that happen and supplementing it and bringing it to market. And, that's something that I had to learn, and I decided to go back to school for that.
And for people that don't know, leaving tenure is kind of a big deal. I mean,
yeah, everyone thought I was crazy. My colleagues were like, "What the hell are you doing?" So it is a big deal because, becoming a tenured professor isn't easy.
Right.
Getting a PhD isn't easy.
Right.
Getting a faculty position isn't easy, and then
Right.
getting promoted and getting tenure is not easy. It's a lot of hard work and commitment, and I wouldn't have. It wasn't a whim. I left because I really felt that this was important, and it did work out better than I thought. I mean, ultimately, I was hoping to commercialize a technology, bring it to market, but this got a lot bigger than I thought it would. I mean, we're going to be a public company now. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and the process of going from like your first business plan to today, for you personally, what were the challenges that you saw or that you ran into in those steps? Like the big challenges. I know there's probably hundreds of little challenges,
Mm-hmm.
but the big challenges of going from
No, I
business
think-
school to a company.
I think you said it, is that the big challenge is there's 100 little challenges.
Okay.
I don't know that there is one particular roadblock. There's just roadblock after roadblock. You get good at kind of addressing each one as they come. And, developing a business plan is the first step. And that's one of the first things that I learned how to do, because the business plan involves every aspect, the financials and the go-to-market strategy and the marketing and the technology and how you fund the technology. It's a fine, it's a delicate balance between spending the money on what's important and yet maintaining the resources to keep your business afloat. It's always been a delicate balance, and that in itself sort of presents a long series of challenges that you learn how to address.
And have your goals gotten much bigger throughout the years on what you want to accomplish with the company?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, each time you achieve something, at least for me, I'm like, all right, what's next?
Okay.
What's the next big goal that we're going to hit? And, now, you'd say, well, your company is public now, you can relax. And it's like, oh no, now we're on the playing field.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay.
It's another base camp.
Go ahead, Kenny.
I was just want to say, since we have both of you here at the same time and sitting next to each other, for anybody that's listening that's maybe starting a company and they're in a similar situation where it's a partnership of two people running the company, what type of tips do you guys have as far as working together? Do you guys talk on a daily basis? I mean, how far apart? Like, how much communication is involved, or does Sean do what he needs to do, and Dennis, you do what you need to do?
I think everybody is different. I don't know that we're the greatest template.
I think the one thing is that I can say is that never give up on your business partner.
Okay.
No matter what, support them through anything they have to go through, and work. If they work hard and you work hard, you'll come out the other side. You'll have something great. But for me personally, most people don't really know this, is that Dennis is actually my boss. He's the CEO, so I report to him. So there has to always be one person that's actually the boss, has the final say and stuff. So I think over the years we've worked really well together.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you understand each other's strengths, and you work towards that. You try to optimize everybody at what they're good at, and I think we've done that well.
I think also it's important to recognize, people when they do a good job on something. I mean, over the years we've covered a lot of challenges together, and it hasn't been pretty. We've had our moments, right? We're just like any team has, right? But like I said, like you said, we're on the playing field still. We're on the field again, right? We're ready to play another game, and that means you show up, you suit up, you show up, no matter what, no matter how you feel, no matter what's going on. You show up, you support the team. Don't ever give up on the team. That's my only advice.
Yeah, and now you guys are not just on the field. You're like actually in a stadium now,
Yeah.
and
No pressure, right?
We have a wider audience.
Yeah. So you have actually a lot more people coming to the games to watch now.
Yeah.
So it's even more important to work together well. And
Well, this is a bigger company now, and we've got a bigger executive team, and we've got a lot of managers in the company. So, it's a different company than it was, and it continues to grow and evolve. So, I think we're proud of what we've accomplished and getting to this point. But as the type of company we are now, it requires a lot more players on the field.
yeah.
Yeah, and also I think that being the co-founders of the organization, obviously we still have a lot of say in what happens. People would look to us for answers. I think that we understand each other's strengths and weaknesses very well. Over the years of working with each other, I think that we've got some new people that bring extra talents to the field that kind of like alongside our strengths make the team even stronger. We got a lot of talented people working for us now too, so it also allows us to not have to be on alert 24 hours a day, which is nice too. Get at least 5 hours of sleep now.
Yeah, we don't clean the bathrooms anymore.
Yeah. We used to have a rotation. We used to have a schedule where we clean the bathrooms.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
I think this is great to hear, because I think a lot of people think, Battleborn Batteries, overnight success. And it definitely wasn't.
Who says that?
Everybody says that. Overnight success with Battleborn Batteries. But you had success very quickly, but it's not overnight. Like you said, you met 10 years ago. You started a business. You're cleaning bathrooms in your own place.
Well, we put a lot of hard work in. I think that we made a lot of sacrifices. I think that I can see how from the outside it looks like an overnight success, but they always say that, right? Like, just 20 years of hard work to become an overnight success. You got to put yourself in the right position to be able to execute something. I think that both of us in our careers have worked very hard in the background to put ourselves in the spot that we're in to be able to do what we did.
Yeah, we've experienced rapid growth over the last 5 years, but the previous 5 years had to set the stage for that.
Yeah. And I think you're still, I think you're still predominantly, people know you as a consumer and OEM company, but your company's really about research and moving technology forward. Is that fair to say?
I like to consider us a technology company because we do a lot of technology, but we're not a technology company because most technology companies don't go to market, without deploying the technology they're developing. So we went to market in order to fund the development of the technology. So that's pretty unique. And so, of course, in the process of making battery packs for RVs and boats, we developed technology for that. So we were constantly innovating there, but it funded the cell manufacturing technology that we got. That's what got us started. Really, is the intellectual property associated with how do you make lithium ion cells from scratch. And then the funny thing is, as Battleborn grew, that focus shifted from conventional lithium iron phosphate cells to lithium iron phosphate cells with a solid state electrolyte. And so that's what we are working on deploying now. Okay. Is we're I don't know how much you guys talked about this already, but we're making a pilot line to make that very special type of battery.
Okay. And it was the sales of the, like we see on the table here, the batteries that are actually funded that ability.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right, but without the idea of how to make lithium cells differently, we would never have led us to do this, because he had that idea before I met him.
Oh, okay.
So then we came and we said, all right, let's go to market, let's fund this technology ourselves, right? But in general, without that first idea, that was the first entrepreneurial idea, was like, how do I make a better lithium ion cell? That's what Dennis came up with. Okay. Now that's kind of changed now. So
yeah, and actually the point, that's a good point too, because the intellectual property portfolio having to do with manufacturing cells is what garnered a lot of our relationships that we have in terms of the supply chain. So I know that we've had a lot of competition. Folks come out of the woodwork and they import a battery pack and they, slap a sticker on it and sell it. And, we had from the beginning, a much more robust supply chain, because we developed partnerships at the very fundamental cell level, so that we have very high level of control over the individual cells that comprise the packs, even though we're not making those cells in-house now.
Yeah. And this is, I'm kind of drifting off topic a little bit, but you're talking about, the lithium technology and improving how it's made and manufactured. And I was on the plane yesterday, and this chatty lady sat next to me, and she was like, so what are you going to Reno for? And I said, oh, my partner and I are going to interview some good friends of ours, and they have a battery company, and a lithium battery company. And she said, I've been reading a lot about lithium technology, and that Nevada's like the hotspot for lithium in America. And so Kenny and I were wondering at breakfast this morning if you guys actually, I know, Sean, you had lived in Reno for a while before you started this, but Dennis, you came here from California. Did you come to this state because you knew that this was the heart of like lithium technology in America, or was it just a coincidence?
No, I came here because I knew it was going to be the heart of lithium technology. And the reason is because I already knew there was a lot of lithium in the ground in Nevada.
Okay.
And there was also a lot of renewable energy. There's a lot of solar, a lot of wind. There's actually, when I moved to Reno back in 2012, it was considered the greenest city in America because it made more electricity from geothermal sources than it used.
Okay.
So, it makes sense from the point of view of the mining infrastructure here and the amount of lithium in the ground, and also the amount of solar and wind that exists here.
Okay. So it wasn't a happy accident.
It was no, it wasn't.
It wasn't that glamorous how I ended up here. I transferred here with T-Mobile. I was selling cell phones. I wanted to leave California too, though.
There were some personal reasons too. Reno was affordable, especially back in 2012, and I love to ski, and we got Lake Tahoe, and it's beautiful here. It's a great
definitely
play. It's not so much of a secret now that Tesla followed us to Reno.
Right.
That's what we always
other
say.
People.
Elon Musk found out we were building batteries in the garage. We came to Reno and opened this gigafactory.
That's the only explanation.
That's the only explanation how that happened. I hope you hear this podcast, Elon. We're still expecting a phone call from you.
Well, I think that's all of our questions for you guys, unless there was anything that we might have missed or that you wanted to add to the conversation.
No, I'm really proud of you guys for doing this. I think the one thing that people don't realize is doing a podcast is not that easy. having a YouTube channel, like it's not easy work. Like editing video, writing content, engaging users, producing episodes, continuing to keep a stream of content,
Getting the
available,
guests on the show.
getting the guests on the show. It's not easy work to do, and I'm proud of you. That's why I'm so honored you came here to our studio. This is the first podcast shot in this new studio here, to do your 100th episode. I think it's a great way to
This
bring
was
in.
awesome. Yeah, we love being here. We love seeing you guys. We always have a good time when we're hanging out with you guys on, off air, and everything like that. So, yeah, we're honored that you guys wanted us to come here and do the 100th episode. This was a huge deal for us.
We love you guys, man. We're happy for you.
Yeah, and we're glad we knew you guys and kind of have followed your growth as you guys have, enormous growth in the 6 or 7 years that I've known you both. So, yeah, it seemed like a good thing to do is have our 100th episode with you guys, just as you're getting ready to make some big moves as a company.
And thank you for that. I appreciate that. I still remember when I first met you. Right outside that little the old general store in Wellington,
that's
Texas,
right?
right?
Wellington,
remember when we
Texas.
first met, Sean? Me and you and Jim.
Jim who?
Jim, the old video guy who used to work for Tyler.
Dennis
Oh,
apparently
that
does
Jim,
not
that
remember.
Jim.
Me and you and Jim.
My memory
Right
is
outside
not
that
as
was
good
like their
as-
studio, right, for that movie they filmed
You're
out
thinking
there.
about much bigger things.
Wellington, Texas. We met the chick
It was
right outside.
Not
outside
when he
this.
met
We met a
Sean.
Right
full-
outside.
Yeah, we met a lot of folks right there
Yeah.
outside the
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been many years ago now. I'm happy that we stayed connected, man. You're an important person in my life. I appreciate it.
Thanks everybody for tuning in, and please go check out Battleborn Batteries and Dragonfly Energy and Wake Speed, who we'll have on soon, and follow this company and all the great things they're doing.
Before we go, we also like to announce the winner of the 100th episode. That the winner is Ryan.
Hutchinson.
Thank you. Ryan, if you're listening, you just won a 12-volt, 100 amp hour Battleborn battery. And we will be in touch with you.
We'll sign it for you, Ryan. Congratulations.
This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety. So go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.